Welcome to Mysteries and Crime, where we delve into the shadows of humanity's darkest deeds. Tonight, a heist straight from a Hollywood script. The Ocean's 11 style cash heist of April 2024. And here's your clue question. How did the thieves avoid triggering any alarms during the break-in? Think carefully. Clues are everywhere. Disclaimer: the following is based on a real-life unsolved crime. The GardaWorld Cash Vault Heist of April 2024 in Sylmar, Los Angeles. All personal names, roles, and dialogue have been fictionalized for storytelling purposes, as no official identities have been released by authorities. In the early hours of April 5th, 2024, a staggering $30 million vanished from a secure Los Angeles cash vault. No alarms, no witnesses, no violence, victims, one armored facility, and a stunned city. What followed was one of the most confounding manhunts in modern criminal history. The sun rose over Los Angeles on April 5th, just like any other spring morning. But at the GardaWorld Cash Depot in Sylmar, something was terribly wrong. By 7:40 a.m., a supervisor arrived to unlock the facility. What they found was silence. No broken locks, no signs of struggle. But when they stepped into the inner vault chamber, they froze. The walls were intact, cameras offline, and where $30 million in cash had been, there was only empty shelving. The heist had unfolded like a ghost story, methodical, invisible, and devastating. Authorities were called immediately. FBI units, the Los Angeles Police Department, and federal investigators flooded the scene within the hour. The entire block was cordoned off by mid-morning. News choppers swirled overhead, reporters hounded witnesses, but there were no suspects, no clues, not even a blown fuse. The vault itself was untouched from the outside. The steel frame hadn't been forced. Only after careful inspection was a hole discovered, drilled with surgical precision through a blind wall behind the building. A weak point unknown to most. The cash was gone, and not a single alarm had been triggered. Theories swirled. Inside job? A professional crew? One thing was certain. This was no ordinary robbery. At the center of this staggering theft was GardaWorld, one of North America's largest cash logistics firms. With decades of reputation and a fortress-like facility in Sylmar, Los Angeles, they were the last place anyone expected to be compromised. The vault, known internally as Vault 1, serviced dozens of banks and retail chains. Inside its walls, billions of dollars passed through each month. But the real victims, the employees, people like Victor Ramos, a vault technician and father of 3, who had worked the night shift just hours before the discovery. "I followed every protocol," he later told investigators, eyes heavy with guilt. "I locked everything, I swear." Then there was Denise Alvarez, a 38-year-old route scheduler who oversaw the daily withdrawal schedules. For days after the theft, she barely spoke. Her planner, marked with delivery amounts, had been taken from her desk. It was the only physical copy. GardaWorld's clients, too, bore the brunt. Local branches of credit unions, payroll processing companies, even casinos, all hit hard by the sudden loss. An estimated 17 institutions reported temporary cash freezes. Some even shut down operations for 72 hours. Though insured, many employees were never quite the same. Some feared termination. Others feared retribution from whoever had pulled off the heist. What made this crime so chilling wasn't just the money. It was how personal the damage felt, how intimate the thieves seemed with every inch of the vault. The early days of the investigation centered around one prevailing theory. This was an inside job, and one name surfaced fast. Miguel Santiago, a former GardaWorld contractor dismissed 6 months earlier after a minor theft accusation. He had worked late-night maintenance on the building's rear infrastructure, the same corridor now believed to be the thieves' entry point. Authorities traced his recent purchases: industrial tools, laser cutters. He claimed they were for his renovation business. But he had no registered clients. Then came the driver, known only by that moniker in LAPD reports. Security footage from a gas station 2 blocks away, time-stamped at 4:20 a.m. on the day of the heist, showed a black panel van idling for 6 minutes. The driver never got out. No plates, tinted windows, gone before sunrise. Some believed this was a crew, possibly with ties to former cartel smuggling routes. Others pointed fingers at Tony Delgado, a senior vault supervisor recently demoted after a compliance mishap. He was the only one with full override access to internal alarms, but he had a rock-solid alibi: a family trip to San Diego, complete with time-stamped hotel check-ins. Law enforcement faced a dizzying web of potential suspects, each with motive, each with secrets, but none with a clear, provable link to the crime itself. At least, not yet. It all began in darkness, not just the physical kind, but a darkness of intent, sharp, methodical, and terrifyingly efficient. Sometime between midnight and 4 a.m., in the early hours of April 5th, 2024, a team of unknown individuals approached the GardaWorld facility from the rear alley, shielded from the street. This wasn't improvisation. This was choreography. The vault's weak point, a concrete service wall, about 24 inches thick, adjacent to the air conditioning unit. Investigators would later determine that the thieves had spent at least 2 weeks preparing, possibly longer. They used a blend of thermal imaging, infrared tools, and ground-penetrating radar, the kind typically used in demolition or archaeology. The hole they cut? Perfectly circular, 28 inches wide, just enough to squeeze through, belly first. Once inside the facility's rear chamber, they moved swiftly, avoiding motion detectors and heat sensors. How? Authorities now believe they looped the internal CCTV feed using a portable jammer and a pre-recorded reel, possibly captured during a mock drill weeks prior. One suspect, allegedly a former contractor, may have provided the exact schedule for internal alarm testing, allowing the team to move during a known system downtime. No fingerprints, no footprints. They wore rubberized gloves and sock-like booties, leaving nothing behind but dust and dread. The vault itself was fitted with biometric locks, but the thieves never opened it. Instead, they cut into it from the side. Using diamond-tip drills, they bored through 4 layers of reinforced steel, each about 2 inches thick. They silenced the noise with dense foam padding and concealed the sparks behind a foldable fire blanket, designed for stealth operations. Once through, they manually loaded shrink-wrapped bricks of bills into duffel bags, stacking them inside the black panel van. It took them just under 2 hours. $30 million in cash, gone, without a single triggered alarm. They exited exactly as they had entered. One final detail: they sealed the wall behind them, from the outside, with a quick-drying polymer compound painted to match the building's concrete tone. To the naked eye, it looked untouched. By the time the sun rose, they were gone. No witnesses, no getaway footage. Even local traffic cams were bypassed, suggesting someone had mapped the city's blind spots in advance. The FBI later called it one of the most technically flawless cash heists ever executed on U.S. soil. And yet, the deeper investigators dug, the more it seemed like they were chasing ghosts. But ghosts always leave shadows. From the moment the heist was reported, a joint task force was formed, involving the FBI, LAPD's Major Crimes Division, and Homeland Security. This was no smash and grab. This was tactical, elite-level precision, and so the response had to match it. Minute for minute, mind for mind. Surveillance logs from nearby businesses were collected. Thousands of hours of footage combed through. Infrared scans revealed faint thermal residue on the exterior wall, confirming recent tampering. Authorities even brought in aerosol trace teams, spraying for hidden chemical markers used in advanced tunneling ops. The results showed low-level copper particles, likely from the drill itself. Still, no direct trail. Investigators widened their net, checking tool rental companies, auction sites, black market forums. One lead did surface. A Craigslist ad posted 3 days after the heist offering industrial diamond rigs at half market price. But the seller vanished after the first inquiry, despite their best efforts. Forensics hit wall after wall. No DNA, no hair strands, no blood. The thieves had used anti-static sprays to minimize skin cell transfer. Even the drill shavings had been swept clean. But there was one critical discovery. A single latex glove, partially melted, found lodged behind an HVAC vent. Traces of polymer grease and heat-resistant epoxy were found on the surface. The glove was manufactured in a facility exclusive to military contractors, narrowing the supply chain dramatically. The FBI subpoenaed purchase records and honed in on 12 potential buyers. Among them, a shell company registered in Nevada, linked to a P.O. box. And that P.O. box, connected to an offshore account opened 2 years prior in Belize. The fingerprints were digital and barely tangible, but they were there. The case was slowly unraveling, one ghost print at a time. In the days that followed the heist, paranoia swept across Los Angeles. Local businesses pulled cash from vaults. Banks doubled their security. And rumors spread like wildfire. Was this the start of something bigger? Organized crime? Foreign actors? A new wave of silent criminal syndicates? Residents near the Sylmar facility reported hearing strange noises that week. One woman claimed she heard drilling, like termites in the wall. She didn't report it. She thought it was construction. Others began watching their neighbors. Trust dissolved, and for a moment everyone seemed guilty. The city held its breath. By April 6th, headlines screamed across national screens. Vault vanishes, 30 million stolen without a trace. Heist of the century. No clues, no witnesses. Cable networks brought in ex-military analysts and criminal profilers. Everyone had a theory, but no one had facts. Podcasts exploded with speculation, from cartel links to disgruntled veterans trained in infiltration. TikTok sleuths posted blurry videos and secret map leaks. One even went viral claiming the vault had never existed at all. Meanwhile, law enforcement remained tight-lipped. and the silence only deepened the mystery. In a world addicted to answers, this case refused to speak. Over time, more names surfaced. One theory pointed to a disbanded group of ex-private security contractors known for their work in hostile zones overseas. A former team member, under condition of anonymity, claimed they had the skills, the gear, and the grudge. Another theory focused on a unionized rogue crew from the city's underground tunneling networks. Their calling card? Precision cuts, perfect silence, and never a single fatality. But perhaps the most chilling possibility came from FBI profiler Lara Devine. She suspected the mastermind was still working inside GardaWorld, not someone fired, not an outsider, but someone still on payroll. They didn't just know the layout, she said. They knew the blind moments, the glitches, the schedule gaps. But no concrete charges were ever filed. Not enough proof, just shadows. By July, law enforcement had zeroed in on Miguel Santiago, the ex-contractor with motive, access, and technical skill. But the evidence? Purely circumstantial. He passed 2 polygraphs. His home was clean. The glove linked to the shell company in Nevada was promising. But without DNA or fingerprints, the chain of evidence was broken. Federal prosecutors quietly dropped their efforts in early August. To date, no arrests have ever been made. No money recovered. No confirmed identities of any perpetrators. The official case remains open. But the FBI has privately acknowledged, unless someone talks, this may go unsolved forever. Meanwhile, GardaWorld refuses to comment on internal security reviews. And the vault, reinforced, rebuilt, but never reopened to the public. The case entered legend, and the silence became its loudest legacy. To this day, not a single dollar from the $30 million has resurfaced. Not in offshore wire transfers, not in suspicious property buys, not in gambling circuits. It's as if the money evaporated. No one brags, no one slips up, and the most haunting part? The thieves may be watching this story right now. Did they already vanish abroad? Did they bury the cash and walk away forever? Or are they waiting, planning something new? A silence this perfect doesn't come without planning, and those who plan like this rarely stop at just one job. While the heist unfolded in Los Angeles, the ripple effects were nationwide. Cash depots across the country reevaluated their security protocols. Federal regulations on vault architecture were quietly revised. Other cities, Rochester, Miami, Chicago, began auditing their underground infrastructure. Some facilities even shut down for weeks, fearing copycats. But the biggest impact? A cultural one. The story became legend, taught in criminology classes, debated in Reddit forums, dissected in YouTube documentaries. A new generation of would-be masterminds looked to this blueprint, not as a warning, but as a roadmap. And so, we leave you with one question. How did the thieves avoid triggering any alarms during the break-in? Could a different decision have changed everything? Tell us your theory in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more unsolved truths from the edge of justice. As always, stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay safe.